Welcome to the Taproxy Method, creating confident learners. The Taproxy Method uses a unique combination of breath work, brain-body work, gratitude, and a clay-based program to affect the neuroplasticity of the brain in students, to help strengthen their mind-body connection, help them develop a growth mindset, and most importantly, trust and confidence in themselves. Aloha and welcome to another episode of the Creating Confident Learners podcast. I'm so happy you're here. So today we're going to take a little deeper look at compensation behaviors in the classroom, out of the classroom, and what that looks like, and go from there. Make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any episodes. One way to support the Creating Confident Learners podcast is to leave a 5-star review and written review anywhere you listen to it. Thanks so much, and let's get started. Be sure to sign up for the Foundation course. This course is here to support you, both parents and educators. It teaches the exact foundational tools I have used with students to increase focus, ease anxiety, and help raise confidence and self-esteem so that they can succeed in all areas of their lives, including academics. It's made into bite-sized digestible pieces to help you apply these tools right away. So I wanted to talk more about compensation behaviors. So compensation really is, and these loud behaviors have to do with compensating for the fact that a kid doesn't have the necessary skills in place to keep up with their peers, keep up with the pace of the classroom. They're just kind of big deficiencies and gaps in knowledge, especially with the core subjects and basic skills. So oftentimes in the classroom setting, they will compensate by loud behavior, creating really big stories as compensation strategies, having a hard time just in general in the classroom setting. They might act super cool or not be able to control their body, get frustrated easily, or have trouble regulating their emotions. There's often a lot of lack of attention and fidgeting. One more kind of low-key compensation strategy, and actually oftentimes when kids are memorizing a worksheet, memorizing the spelling pattern in order, there's not real big understanding or true understanding of a concept or material that's being presented. That's part of compensation as well. It's a smart mode of compensation. But kind of these loud behaviors take away from being able to really deal with the problem at hand, which is the lack of skill, the gaps in knowledge, the lack of focus, and really being able to retain and learn the information that's being presented. Some of the more low-key compensation strategies or behaviors is when a child can't explain their thinking, or that they can't sit still, they can't focus on a task for any length of time, even just a few minutes, or they're fidgeting. It's interesting to me because oftentimes these same kids, when they are really interested in something or a subject, or what they're doing, whether it's a video game or, learning a skateboard trick or building a Lego set, they can sit there and just sit still and do the thing and engage with it for hours. It's also interesting to me, these kids who kind of have compensation strategies or behaviors, I think they really do want to do well. And I'm thinking that they actually are quite hard on themselves, and almost that perfectionism mentality, which kind of squashes people's ability to learn well. When we're too much in perfectionism or we're too hard on ourselves, it's harder to, grow from there. Another compensation behavior is resistance to explaining, resistance to being wrong, resistance to what is in general. Just this week, one student who took over a year to really warm up to me, which is quite abnormal. She actually opened up to the learning process this week and participating and being more open and engaging. And now, a year later, is telling me that I teach better than her teacher. And she has a willingness to actually explain her thinking to me, that she didn't realize I was so cool. And she had to come to realize that I wasn't judging her for what she didn't know, that we were just uncovering gaps and addressing her academic needs so that she could do the best that she can. And now she's thriving. Everything that was wonky before, everything that was a struggle, everything that was hard, everything that was not solid before is now becoming solid. And her demeanor, her attitude towards me, towards the material, her openness, is just night and day at this point. She was struggling before with the basics. We're talking writing, spelling, long division, deeper reading comprehension. And now that's all clicked at 5th grade, which is a pivotal year academically. This is where things get real. Today, she just busted out a whole journal from school to show me, and literally my jaw dropped at what I saw. 1 year of practice, 1 year of practice writing. It's night and day from last year. 1 year of really perfecting number sense and explaining thinking, night and day. Spelling, reading, writing, math, it's all there. And her willingness to explain herself, the willingness to be open, the willingness to actually hear the directions, hear what needs to be addressed is just completely different. And that took some time to build that, but it's really, really cool to watch. And another thing that I really talk about too, when I have kind of this resistance behavior or compensation behavior, where they're covering up those gaps in knowledge, covering up the fact that they're not getting something or they can't keep up with the pace of their peers or the pace of their class. I really like to teach these kids about advocating for themselves, advocating to their teachers if they need more time or help or have questions, advocating to me if they don't understand something. So oftentimes these kids who are compensating, and sometimes compensation can come as the complete opposite where they're just quiet and tucked in the back. But, these really loud compensation strategies and behaviors can really detrimentally affect them and their classmates at the same time. So we want to, address both sides. But oftentimes the kids who have these compensation strategies like resistance, not being able to explain themselves, big stories, wiggly, they are the ones who are often trying to hide what they don't know because they're embarrassed. And when they're hiding what they don't know, we can't help them if they're not open or receptive or honest about what they do and don't understand. So I often have conversations with them about how, especially being in a one-on-one setting where it's safe and we're working together through the gaps in knowledge and things that need to be learned. We don't go to school to know everything. We go to school to learn things and to make mistakes and to figure it out. And by actually being honest with what they do get and don't get to themselves and to me, then we can really start to learn together. And so we have that conversation, especially these kids who don't want to show. And it's funny when we can flip it into, hey, when you get this, then you become the stronger student and you get to transfer it to your classmates and your peers. And they get really motivated by that because they do become competent. They don't need those loud compensation strategies anymore because now the knowledge and the skills are in place. So it is really funny that you can, with these types of kids, these children, that you could, if you switch it to more of a leadership role, getting them to realize that once they really get something, they'll be helping their peers and their classmates. They will take such pride in that and want to do well in the classroom. So it's almost like it's really cool when these kids, their gaps in knowledge is addressed and they start to really excel. And then they do those compensation behaviors because they were covering up the lack of knowledge or trying to cover up the lack of knowledge. Probably more subconsciously, they disappear, which is really, really cool. Again, oftentimes these kids really, really, really want to do well in the area that they're struggling, the reading, the writing, the spelling, the math, and it's about getting the information to them in a way that is accessible and builds on their prior knowledge so that they can grow from there. And it's really about helping them see with other tools, right? The visual-based strategies, the perseverance strategies. I really think perseverance and having some grit and willing to work hard is an overlooked academic and life skill. The willingness to try, the open-mindedness to the process of learning, and also the mindset change. I'm not hiding who I am. I'm not hiding what I don't know. I'm open and honest and willing to have more of an open mindset so that I can learn. I'll learn how to do this. I can ask for help. I will work harder. It's not the closed mindset of I can't do this or I'll just quit or I have failed, right? We can really change the mindset, which will change the behavior of compensation and change how they interact with the material that they don't understand. And I also want to say, like, a lot of times with these kids that struggle, it has nothing to do with intellect. They're usually very, very intelligent and capable children. It has to do more with the confidence, the gaps in knowledge, the presenting the materials in a way that makes sense to them, and then having enough practice to become proficient. Be sure to sign up for the foundation course. This course is here to support you. It teaches the exact foundational tools I have used with students to ease anxiety and help raise confidence and self-esteem so that they can succeed in all areas of their lives, including academics. It's available as a one-time purchase or as an ongoing monthly subscription with extra group support and monthly live stream. Be sure to sign up for the newsletter to stay in contact. Keep up with the Creating Confident Learners community on Instagram and Facebook at Creating Confident Learners. Have a blessed day and aloha!